Okay, so we'll simplify this video here and just talk about the two-sized Easy Detail brushes. But these are two, I think, very useful and necessary products to have in your wheel cleaning arsenal for a lot of purposes. Sometimes I'll use these on the barrels of the wheel. It is much quicker than using something like the Incredibrush on the wheel. On the wheel well, it gets in and out quicker, but it will tend to fling. So as you're, if you think about this, as you're pulling it out the wheel, it's flinging stuff at you. And so that is one kind of annoyance that you'll have to deal with. Again, I tend to cut off this little rubber thing. I'll send it to you with it on there, but I just kind of gets in the way for me. I never hit the spokes of the wheels with the handle, so I think that's largely unnecessary. But this is great to have. I use this mainly on the wheel wells to get up in there. I also use it on the inside of the last section of the exhaust to get out a lot of the soot and stuff there that eventually builds up on the tip. And I'll use it a lot of times, like for instance on my GT3, I'll show you here in a minute. When the tucking behind the caliper, this is really helpful to work on that because really nothing's going to fit back there. There are just two little pockets in the caliper. This Incredibrush won't fit, a wheel woolly won't fit, and so you need something like this where this will conform. You can really jam it in there and get in a little bit of extra section around the wheel well. I think having both sizes are useful. I keep both of these in my bucket. Again, I'm so adamant about having less in my bucket. I want it to be able to dry out. I don't want to have like 50 utensils in there that can build up all kinds of mildew and issues. And it just makes me feel better when I have less choice. Just give me the choice of the 4 or 5 tools, and I know they can get every job done. And I know I don't have that attitude for everything, but for wheel cleaning, I definitely do. I definitely prefer. I do think these stand the chance. They're a little stiffer, bristled. These stand the chance to scratch much more easily than a Incredibrush with its microfiber, but they do get the job done. I do think that they are a necessary evil in your bucket, and they're relatively inexpensive and last forever. These are my original two, so I guess I didn't cut this thing off, but these are my original. This is my original brush. I want to say this thing, I don't know how many years old it is. It's about time for me to swap it out. Even the lettering has come off. But the difference here is not all that great in one that has really gotten a ton of use versus a brand new one. So I think what we'll do is we'll dispose of the old one and replace it with the new one. And then here's shoot, I can barely even tell. This is the old one and this is the new. I haven't had this as long, but this is easily, as long as these things have been out, I've had them. And so however many years that's been, 8 years, 7, 8 years, something like that. So this thing has been around a long time and I've had it. There have been times that I haven't used it because I was trying other things, but largely it's been a staple in my bucket. All right, so Easy Detail, when we're using it, just to bring you up to speed here on where we're at in this process, I sprayed the Nexet ColorTech. I'm trying to keep moving here so I can get, switching from video to video, but I've stumbled in that this Incredibrush flat fits nicely behind the rotor, but it won't fit behind the caliper. I can't get it in there. And there are actually a couple of pockets here on the Porsche carbon ceramic brakes where my Easy Detail brush will get in there. And so I'm only missing a little bit of the area of the wheel. See what I'm saying? So I can get a large percentage of the area behind the caliper with the Easy Detail brush. Now you'll notice as you pull it out, it tends to fling stuff all over the place, so you'll have to factor that into your process. And sometimes also the smaller brush, if you really wanted to get up in there in the areas that you missed, the smaller brush is also good to have. I also like the smaller brush because you can get in here and get a little bit more granular when you're scrubbing. But generally my process is after I hit the area behind the caliper or whatever areas I need, and then I can use the Easy Detail brush to get in here and really scrub. And that's about the extent of what I'm going to do. Cleans up really nicely, and then back in the bucket. I usually shake it out. But this brush is really handy in areas like that. We'll come back around as well, and I'll show you how I use it on the exhaust and the rear of the car. So I use my wheel cleaning parts or products to clean exhaust tips. So I'll spray my Nextech ColorTech on the exhaust tips, and then I'll use my Easy Detail brushes. A lot of times I'll use the small brush. If I can get in here, scrub the area around the edge. Also reach the exterior of the tips. And we'll come back around. With our FlexiPads mitt, and we'll hit this up one last time. So that's how we do the exhaust tips. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.